Hello and welcome back to another Stonksy video. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can use your bot holding coins, so your Bitcoin, your ETH and a few others, to actually trade with it in something called inverse perpetuals. On BLOFIN it is called Coin M, so it's this one here, Coin M futures, but typically this is known as inverse perpetuals. So do make sure you drop a big like on the video, make sure you subscribe, and of course if you want to come and join me in trading on BLOFIN, the link is in the description. We are also partnered with ETH too, so you'll find both of them in there. Do make sure you sign up if you are looking for somewhere to trade. Obviously currently we are doing this on BLOFIN. Inverse perpetuals isn't available on ETH, so you're going to have to sign up to BLOFIN if you do want to utilize this option. But of course, we're going to be covering it today. Obviously, looking at the ones that you can use, you can see them on the screen at the moment, but we will run through them in depth. And yeah, do make sure you drop a like. Like I mentioned, it does help the channel out massively. But yeah, let's get into the video and see what's going on. So currently, as you can see, we have the ETH chart loaded up at the moment in what is under the ticker ETH USD. Now, ignore this Bitcoin trade at the bottom. That's currently open. That is opened with USDT and is, yeah, not relevant to this video. So yeah, ignore that for the meantime, unless you're watching the P&L change while we're recording this video. But yeah, when you come onto BLOFIN, so you can select it a few ways. You can either select it on this heading here, Coin M futures, or obviously if you hover over the drop down, you've obviously got USDM, which is trading with USDT for your futures trades. Also, obviously using USDC. So if you want to use USDC, you can do that as well on BLOFIN. But Coin M is the heading. So obviously this is BLOFIN's term for inverse perpetuals. And what we have here, we have Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, SUI, SOL, Doge, ADA, Link and Uni, all available to do this. Now, what is this? What is Coin M? What are inverse perpetuals? It's when you take the underlying asset to trade with it. So if you are trading Bitcoin, you're using actual Bitcoin as the margin in the account, not USDT. Same for ETH. If you're using ETH, like we will do in this video today, as you can see, I've got a tiny bit of ETH in the account. You're using the actual underlying asset to trade with it as the margin, not a stable coin. So obviously, as you can see here, I've got a little bit of ETH. So what you do to obviously get this in the account is, you'll have some in spot, or, transfer some stables into the spot account. Buy whatever it is you want to trade under this. And then obviously you go to transfer and then send it into Coin M, whatever it is. Now, what is the advantages of this? Well, of course, you're using the underlying asset. So mainly, obviously, if you're expecting a rise in the price, or say a rise in Bitcoin, a rise in ETH, you can use the underlying asset as the margin, because then obviously you get the gain on the trade, but then you also get the gain on the underlying asset because you obviously still hold that. So you can either do this if you're just expecting, say, Bitcoin, ETH, or any of the altcoins that are on offer here to undergo a rally themselves, or if you're just expecting the market to go up. Alternatively, if you just got some spot, kicking around in your account and you want to use that and, still hold on to that, then you can do that, of course, and just utilize that in the trade. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you exactly how you open a trade, and you'll see it's exactly the same as you would with any other trade, whether you're using USDT, USDC to open a futures trade. So we're currently on ETH, and as you can see, obviously, yeah, like I've got a little bit of ETH in there. So let's just open a market order. We'll go full allocation, and we'll go, 3x leverage, and we will click long, and we'll open that. Now, as you can see, obviously it's opened, and this is what it looks like. So we've got ETH 3x total. So it will tell you the USD value, because obviously it is an ETH USD pair, not a stable coin pair. It will also obviously tell you the margin of ETH that you've got in here. And then it'll tell you the P&L and realized P&L in ETH terms, so not in stablecoin terms, not in dollar value. This will appear obviously in the underlying asset. It will also then give you the other good stuff, such as your estimated liquidation price and all the other information that you need. Now, you can obviously also go on here and set, take profits and stop losses. And this will, of course, appear in ETH terms as well. So if we do that, it will all appear the same as it does on any other trade, but it will all be in ETH terms. So obviously if you're using Bitcoin, it will be the same for that. It will appear in Bitcoin terms. If you're using ADA, SUI, whatever it may be, Solana, it will appear in the underlying asset. So this will show you what you would gain, lose in terms of the actual asset itself. So that is obviously how we open a trade. You can also obviously do the same for, if you're choosing a limit order, and yeah, that's how we open it, and obviously how it appears in terms of showing you the information on the trade, take profit and stop loss too. But like I briefly mentioned earlier on, what are the advantages of this? Well, if you take ETH for example, and we'll just go to the daily chart. We could also look at Bitcoin or whatever it is. So you can see they come on BLOFIN in June. So we've not been actually on BLOFIN for too long, but inverse perpetuals is something that's been around for quite a while on crypto exchanges. So it's great to have it on BLOFIN now. But if you're expecting the asset to undergo a rally, say for instance, you know, you put an ETH long on using ETH as the collateral itself here, you know, by the time ETH gets up here, that's a 55% gain, up here 95% gain. Obviously you're going to gain on the margin you've put into the account based on the trade and obviously the leverage you're using, but also you're going to gain in terms of spot. So for instance, say you were using ETH here, obviously the ETH that is in the trade has gained 96% itself, so the margin that's available in here will have gained the percentage increase. Obviously currently we're looking at a 96%, but you know, whether it's 50%, 40%, whatever it may be, 50%, the ETH in the actual trade, the margin that is being used to obviously facilitate the trade, will have gained that value as well. So instead of using a stable coin where, you know, obviously the actual underlying margin in the trade never changes because obviously it's pegged to a dollar, whether you're using USDT or USDC. If you're anticipating a market rally, then you can obviously utilize being able to use the underlying asset to not only gain on the futures trade for obviously profiting P&L wise based on the margin and the leverage that you're using, but also to gain from the collateral that is used in the trade. So whether that be ETH, Solana, let's take a look what we've got, you know, XRP, Doge, whatever it is that you can utilize on here. You can also then, when you end up closing that trade out, you've also made a gain on the coin that you're using as the margin. So it's a great option, especially if you're anticipating a rally, if the market's going to get a bit exciting, if we're going to see some big upside moves. This is definitely one fantastic option to utilize instead of your typical USDT pairs. So obviously we've opened a trade. What I will show you now is obviously how it appears when we close a trade. So we will come to here, and what we'll do, we'll just close this at market as well. Well, there we go, 100% at market, close. So that's closed the ETH trade out, and as you can see here, the ETH has gone straight back into the account. Now if you wanted to send this in between accounts, what you would do is you would obviously just do whatever it is going from and to. So obviously to get it into the coin M, you would select spot or funding or wherever the ETH, Bitcoin, Solana is. But also then if you want to say send it out back into the spot to be sold, you would then just do that ETH from coin M to spot, confirm, and then obviously that would then send it out into the spot account, and you can go and sell it if you want. Say, you know, ETH, Bitcoin has gone up while you've had a trade on. You've obviously netted in terms of USD value because ETH has gone up. You've also taken P&L out, but then, you know, you could go and then sell all that it back into USDT, and you know, if the market has undergone a rally, you'll have also made gains on your underlying ETH that you've used in the trade. Yeah, hope this video has helped. If you didn't know about this is obviously a great option to have if you're looking to switch up your trading or, you know, benefit from when price comes down, like we've seen it obviously over the past few days. We've had a big flush on Bitcoin and ETH. If you're looking to long it, and you know, maybe you're expecting a big recovery or maybe even to new highs, this is obviously one potential option for you to utilize where you could get that added gain in on your trades. But yeah, please do make sure you drop a big like on it. Make sure, of course, you come and join BLOFIN. Links in the description. And that's all for today's video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.